let's get spelling. So our first word that we're going to spell together is going to look like this. Okay, what rules do we need to know? We need to know that if you hear a k, you're usually going to spell it with a C. The k sound is almost always spelled with a C. It's only not, well, it's only not for reasons that are too long to write right here, but that's a whole nother lesson. But for this word, it's going to be its most common spelling, which is the C. So when you hear k in a word, if you have to guess at the spelling, you spell it with a C. What else you need to know? You need to know the confident rule. That is, when you hear I in the middle of a word, you're going to spell it with an I, but you don't need two consonants after it. So the I in the middle syllable, not in the middle of the word, I misspoke. If it's in the middle syllable of a word, then you don't need to add two consonants after it to make it short sound. It breaks the tap 2 rule, and it can say I regardless of how many consonants are after it. It's a little princess, and it gets to say I in the middle syllable no matter what. And then you also need to know that when, that's the best way to put this. I'm going to say it this way. When A is almost to the end of a longer, which means multi-syllable word, and the next letter or 2 or 3 is a consonant, which would be the very final letters, the last letter, because we're almost to the end of the word, then it can make the schwa sound. It will make the schwa sound. Okay, so when A is almost to the end of a longer word and there's a consonant after it, then it will make the schwa sound. The same goes for O, but slightly different spelling patterns, but for this one you need to know the A. Okay, just a little hint there. So your word is cognizant. 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 You're going to spell the Z sound with a Z in this word. Sometimes it's an S, in this word it's an actual Z. Cognizant. Cognizant. Go ahead and put your spelling in the Q&A when you're ready. Oh, so close, so close. Give me this right here. This letter right here, and you'll have it. Cognizant. Nice, Taryn. There we go. Good. Cognizant. Cognizant. That means aware, right? Yeah. I'm going to let a few more. I'm going to give you just a couple more seconds. I don't want to go too fast here. Give you some time. Cognizant. Cognizant. I'm cognizant of the time. So, consonants. K, spelled with a C almost always. A, G, N, I, Z, A, N, T. Vowels. A can be spelled with an O right here. It's the most common spelling for A. You're always going to go for the most common spelling first. And if it works, stop, you're done. And it will work here because the next 2 letters are consonants, so it follows the tap 2 rule. I can say A right here, just fine. I is the confident rule. When I is in the middle syllable, it gets to say I, regardless of if there are 2 consonants after it or not. So it's perfectly fine right there. A is spelled, that's a schwa sound, can be spelled with an A when it's toward the end of a longer word and there is a consonant or 2 after it. Cognizant. Now, if you didn't spell it correctly, go ahead and spell it correctly in the Q&A now. I mean, yeah, in the Q&A. Cognizant. While I get the next word ready. All right, what do we have? I don't know if that's right. Let me check. Yep. Okay, so sometimes you're going to hear a con or a com at the beginning of words. Those are Latin roots, and they are spelled C-O-N and C-O-M. This is how you spell them. Spell them this way. These slanted lines right here mean what you hear. So when you hear con or come, I promised you better spelling, didn't I? Or better penmanship. When you hear con or come, you're going to spell it C-O-N and C-O-M at the beginning of most words. It's Latin. What else do I need? The tap 2 rule is in every word. If you have a long vowel sound, there must be another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. If not, if it's a short vowel sound, the next 2 letters need to be consonants. C will make the S sound. C will say S when the next letter is E, I, or Y. So when you're spelling and you hear a S and the next letter is an E, I, or Y, it will likely be spelled with a C. It will in this word. And then when you hear E at the end of a longer word, multisyllable, it's usually spelled with a Y. Okay? So when you hear the E sound at the end of a longer word, you're not going to spell it with an E, you're going to spell it with a Y. So your word is complacency. Complacency. You're going to see this times 2 in this word. My lips are closed. Complacency. Complacency. Go syllable by syllable. Do come first, just like I taught you. Then do play, but not the word play, just the syllable. That's going to be the tap 2 rule right here. It's going to go right here. Sen, spell with a C. C. Also, you're going to hear that S sound with a E, I, or Y after it. And then the E sound at the end. I know you can do it. Complacency. Put it in the Q&A when you're ready. Lips are closed. Complacency. I'm not getting too many in the Q&A yet. Take your time, but don't be shy either. I want it, even if you got just the first 3 letters and stopped, I want to see that. And good job for knowing your limits. We want to only work with peace, never frustration. Complacency. I want to say 2 more in the Q&A before I tell you the spelling. Please. Complacency. Complacency. It means what? What does it mean if you're complacent? Willing? Thank you, Taryn. Okay. Beautiful. So come. How are we going to spell come at the beginning of a word? It's going to be spelled with a C-O-M, right? That's our Latin root. Play. Oh, let's do our consonants first, actually. P, L, A, S, with the E after it is a C. E, N, S, with a E after it is a C. Now we can do our vowels. There's that O. Play. Can I spell that A with just a single letter? Yes, I can because of the tap 2 rule. You always try just the most common spelling first, which is just a single A. And if it works, stop, you're done. And it works here because there's another vowel in the next 1 or 2 spots. Here's that C that's making the S sound. It's soft sound because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. Sen. Here's another C that's making the S sound because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. When you hear E, the long E sound at the end of a longer word, it's usually spelled with a Y. So that's why this C is making its S sound, because the next letter is an E, I, or Y. Didn't we just make reading into like an algebraic equation? Wasn't that just like a math formula? Like a puzzle that you're just putting things together? We're doing it in a different part of our brain than you're probably used to, that it just attaches logic and intellect. You're using your brain, your smarts, to figure this out instead of just wondering how those sounds are spelled. Good. Thank you. Okay, it looked like the Q&A wasn't working for a second, but it is now. I can see everybody's words now. Okay, next. Oh, so take a look at complacency before I erase it. Just remember how it's spelled, what all those letters are doing and why. But don't spell it right now. Right now I want you to not look at the bottom left of my board, but spell the word cognizant. Cognizant in the Q&A, please. Cognizant and then complacency. Complacency. That was a hard one. Complacency was a hard one for a lot of people. Here is the word right down here in the bottom. But don't forget, last time you spelled existentialism or something. I don't even know if I can say that right. You spelled that last time. Don't you ever forget that. You can spell existentialism. You can spell complacency. Just give yourself a little bit of grace. Take your time. Learn why those letters are spelling those sounds, and then you'll get it. Nice, Fatima. If you didn't spell complacency right, spell it now in the Q&A, just to staple it into your brain, just to put it in there correctly while I get the next word ready. Okay, I have a feeling the Q&A is acting up because for some reason I'm not getting, that's kind of weird, isn't it? I'm not getting your answers. I had a feeling you guys were using it. I just wasn't saying it. It's kind of weird. The Q&A is coming and going, but just continue to put your answers in if you can, and then I will get them as I can. I wonder if it's like a internet thing, even though I'm hardwired in here. Okay, next word. As long as you can still see me and hear me, that's the most important thing. All right, for this word, we have to know the tap 2 rule. I also want you to know the long sound of U has 2 options. It can say its whole name, as in U, or just that long sound, that last part, oo. So it has 2 long sounds, U or oo. Both are correct. So if you hear U or oo, this is the most common way to spell it, with just a single U. You need to know that when you hear a KW, it is spelled QU. When you hear it is spelled QU. This is what you hear. This is how you spell it. This would only get one line, wouldn't it? Well, would it? Yeah. We're going to make QU have one line. QU has one line and X has one line. Even though they're both technically multiple sounds, we're going to give them just one line right up here. So your QU is going to have one line. You're going to need to know the confident rule again. I in the middle syllable doesn't need two consonants after it. You can just leave it with a straight vowel I with one consonant after it, and it's just fine. And you need to know that when you hear us at the end, you're going to spell it O-U-S. You don't hear the O, you only hear the U. This is going to get one line, and this is going to get one line. This OU is going to get one line, because it's one sound, and then the S. Even though it's a whole suffix, OUS, they're going to get two lines there for the two sounds. Okay, so the tap 2 rule, which is in every word. The sound U can be spelled with just a single U. Qua is spelled with a QU. I in the middle syllable doesn't need two consonants after it. And when you hear us at the very end, and when it's a suffix, you spell it O-U-S. Your word is ubiquitous. 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 And then, oh good, yeah, the Q&A seems to be lagging for a few minutes. That's weird, isn't it? I am going to have a substitute on Wednesday and Monday. Tanya, the wonderful Tanya. You're going to be able to have her. So don't be sad when I come back, because she's pretty great. You're going to love her. She teaches these classes with her own students all the time. But if her technology is kind of acting up like mine is right now, hopefully we can all just be patient, right? All right, so the word was ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. Okay. Our consonants are U, B, I, Qua. There's my Qua that I'm going to spell with a QU. I, T, A, S. Vowels. U. That's just the long sound of a U. You might be tempted to spell it this way because that's how you spell the word, but that's a sight word. That's not a sound in its own. It's not a sound of its own within a word. When you hear U, the most common spelling is just a regular U. If there's another vowel, one or two doors down, and it's fine. It's perfect right there. Here's our I. That follows the confident roll. U, bi, que. Another confident roll. Two I's in the middle syllable. Do you see how there's a 4-syllable word? So each one of these middle ones qualify as the middle syllable, because this one has a vowel before it and after it that don't touch it. And this one has a vowel before it and after it that don't touch it. So as long as there's a vowel on either side that doesn't touch it, then that qualifies it as the middle syllable. And then that can be spelled with just a single I without two consonants after it. So ubiquitous. Here's that us at the end. It's a suffix OUS. There we go. Ubiquitous. Now, take a look at ubiquitous. just to let your brain absorb it. Hopefully my words aren't really lagging. Hopefully you can still hear me in real time. And then spell in the Q&A without looking at the answers, cognizant, cognizant, cognizant. Then complacency, complacency. And then ubiquitous, ubiquitous. Good, and then check your answer down here in the bottom. Cognizant, complacency, ubiquitous. Doesn't it help to see how words are spelled? So you can look at each sound. That makes it a multisensory experience when you can see a sound. Your brain is hearing the sound while you're looking at the symbol for it. And then you're also putting in all of these other ways to cement it into your brain. You're using your pencil, that's tactile. You're using a completely different part of your brain to process all and put all of that information together, which is the left part of your brain, which is applying all the spelling rules. So you're learning all of how to spell using a lot of different strategies and different avenues to really grasp it. So don't expect perfection, because that's a lot of little bits and pieces to have to fall into a perfect puzzle, right? But as long as you are spelling some of the sounds correctly, that is brilliant. And that is beautiful progress, because you're learning how to spell. It's not as important to spell a word correctly as it is to know how a word is spelled. Even if you didn't spell it correctly, if you understood it, and when I spelt it, then those spelling rules are going to sound familiar when we apply it to another word and when you come to another word. So I'm teaching you how to spell so that you can spell any word, not necessarily in particular words. Does that make sense? All right, my friends. So I'm going to miss you on Wednesday and Monday. You're going to have so much fun with Tanya. Seriously, you're going to love her. So enjoy, have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you on a week from Wednesday. Bye, everybody.